My name is Emma, and I'm here as one of your co hosts today to talk to you about the benefits of learning how to code. So, I'll talk a little bit about me before I get into it, just so we can get to know each other as friends. I consider us friends at least. I don't know if you do. But I am a second year student at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan campus, and I am currently majoring in Indigenous Studies and will then go on to major in education, which is why I'm like super stoked to do this because I love teaching people things. I think it's super fun. And so before I actually get into the meat, of course, I will tell you a little bit about my background with coding. So I started getting into coding in high school. Grade 8 in particular, at first, whenever they introduced the hour of code, I was like, yo, perfect way to get out of class. I have an excuse to go play on the computer for a while. All I gotta do is sit here and tell Minecraft Steve to run left, then run right, then run left, then go straight, and then open the chest. So easy, what the heck? And then I started doing it more, and I was like, okay, getting into the more complicated things, progressing from beginner to intermediate. And I was like, whoa, this is actually kind of cool. Like, I'm making websites right now. And that is where my background comes from. I mostly dabble in HTML. I certainly wouldn't say that I am fluent. I can get by, usually. You ask me to do something and I can pretty good at getting it done. But yeah, so the reason I use the term fluent is because I see code as a language. It's the language of the digital world. It's the language of computers. It's how computers function. So I think that it's very beneficial to learn code as we progress into a more digital society, as we've seen in the last couple of years with the thing that shall not be named happening. We have seen our society very rapidly change into computers and Zoom and Skype and FaceTime, and we're on these things all the time. And I think learning how to fluently speak the language of the devices that we use is going to become super important as customizing and modifying gets more popular. So, speaking of customizing and modifying, that's one of the first benefits to coding that I believe is super important. Because I play video games quite often, I often run into the problem where I will buy a $70 to $90 game and I will finish it, and then I will have nothing left to do because main storyline is finished and I've done most of the side quests, and now I'm stuck with this $90 game that I bought that I don't want to restart because I spent all that time finishing it. So now what do I do? So modding video games for me is one of the biggest aspects of learning how to code. And if you don't know what modding is, it's short for modifying, of course. So it's taking a video game, and what most often happens is people edit what already exists in the game. So they will take character models, or they will take weapons and just change what they look like, or potentially make it so that, oh, this character can be your companion, kind of thing. So, or what other people do, which I super commend, holy cow, is they will take entire new storylines. They will create a whole nother 25-hour adventure and pop it into the game for free. Because, hey, you're just as bored with the game as I am, so I'm going to give you a whole new storyline to run. And I think I super respect that. I think that's super cool. And me being the little selfish troll I am, the more people I see doing that, the more new mods we're getting, the more excited I get, the more fun I can have with my games. And I love that. So modifying video games, knowing how to modify video games, and knowing how your games run, so if anything happens, you can go in and fix it. Super important. And knowing how to fix it is another really big thing. Learning how to code actually really helps your problem solving skills, because a lot of code is just trial and error. You try something, you push run, nothing happens. And you're like, well, all right. Go back to the drawing board, fix something, put a little piece of code somewhere else, press run, happens again, something happens, but it's not the thing that you want to happen. So you go back and you put something else in, push run, boom, beautiful, perfect, it's amazing. Trial and error. And it really exercises your problem solving skills, which in turn exercises your brain. It's like a puzzle. And who doesn't love puzzles? It's a puzzle that you don't have to worry about losing the pieces to, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm really bad for losing puzzle pieces. That's why I don't do many puzzles, but I do code. Yeah, it's a puzzle that you can't really lose the pieces to, because if you lose it, you just type it back in. And yeah, it really exercises your brain. It's if there's one thing you take away from this video, coding makes you smarter. Coding makes you smarter. But yeah, having these problem solving skills is super rad. And it helps in everyday life. It helps you be more adept to solving potential problems that may crop up. Especially in terms of business. If you want to look at the job aspect of it, learning how to code can help open a lot of doors for jobs. And not only like web-based jobs, which we'll get into very shortly, but even in regular jobs. You know, if you're working in a firm who's paying thousands of dollars every month for online advertising, and you know how to code websites, you can cut that thousands of dollars out. You can just start coding ads for places. It's super easy. It's super simple. Or if you know how to code, businesses will hire you, like maybe little local businesses, self-run businesses, they'll hire you to make a website for them and keep the domain up and make it how they want you to make it. Coding is like super customizable, and I think that's really neat. And that's one of my favorite aspects of it, is how creative you can get with it, because coding itself may be linear, but using the linear code to create something super beautiful and super creative is super cool. I use super way too many times in that sentence, but it's fine. But if we're going to get into the coding and programming based jobs, I do have a little notepad here, aka my dry erase board, with some statistics about jobs. I think these were projected from the Bureau of, let me look it up really quick. The Bureau of Labor Studies. There we go. Or labor statistics, my apologies. So this is for the states. I'm pretty sure it's just most of the US. These were projected in 2019. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics, their projections for the increase of jobs, like of people that will be looking for these programming-based jobs. So for web developers, we're looking at an increase of 13%. So there will be 13% more jobs in the coming year for web developers. With network administrators, we're looking at 5% increase. And if you don't think these numbers are huge, in a couple minutes, I will bust out my calculator and show you how big of an increase this actually is. For computer programmers, we actually went down by 7%, so we'll be looking for fewer computer programmers as a whole. However, developers, administrators, like people who can work with web pages, people who can work with software, those are definitely going to be an increase. So database administrators, we are looking at a 9% increase. And software developers, we are looking at an astonishing 21% increase. So let's take a second and look at my handy dandy little calculator. So let's say there are 13,000 web developer jobs currently. So we're projecting that there will be a 13% increase. So if we add 13%, that gives us 1,600 extra jobs. So now we're looking at 14,690, which it's a big increase, and that's only at 13%. So let's take network administrators. That same number, 13,000, we'll add 5%. We're looking at 13,650, which, again, that's huge. And that's in the US only. So across the US in the next little bit, there will be 650 more jobs cropping up for people who are network administrators, or who can be network administrators. So let's take my favorite number on here, software devs. And if you don't know what software is, just in case, software is basically the programs that you install onto your computer. So your Windows is a software. So like your operating system, that's a software. Or things like video games. Software devs are huge in video games. Stuff like that. Anyone who can help develop this software for video games or for computers or whatever. That's what a software dev is. So if we take that and we're looking at 13,000, again, just going to show you the proof, and we add 21%, oh, not 2%, plus 13,000, holy cow. See, I haven't done coding in a while. My brain's kind of, we're deflating a little bit. We're going to add 13,000, one more time, add 21%. That's 2,700 extra jobs. We are now looking at 15,730 jobs. within the next little bit for software developers. So that's 6, like that's an incredible increase. That's massive. And so I think, getting ahead of the curve and learning how to code now so that you can have these jobs that are going to be more viable in the future is super important. And of course, if we're talking jobs, we have to talk money. So, and I'm going to link this website that I got these stats from in the bio so that you can go and have a look for yourself. But for web developers annually, the projected income is $73,760 annually. For network administrators, we're looking at $83,510 annually. For computer programmers, we're looking at $86,550 annually. For database administrators, $93,750 annually. And for software developers, which is a fan favorite here, we're looking at $107,510. So if you want to put that into perspective, again, let's pull up my handy dandy little phone. And let's look up the median income in Canada for average. So it looks like the median income of from 2000 to 2019. Let me look at this number for you. So in 2019, that was the median income in Canada. $37,710. So let's round that up a little bit, give her a little bit of padding. So $40,000. That is the annual median income for occupations in Canada. And if we look at the lowest paying job on my little totem pole here, $73,760. That is almost double what the median income for Canada was in 2019. Is that insane to anybody else? Is that just me? Because that to me is crazy. Just by learning, and of course, I'm not trying to say that it's easy to learn code. Of course, you have to go through schooling. Like Gerard, he is a computer science major. You have to go through schooling and you have to take time and put effort into these things. But $73,000 in this economy, like, come on. So learning code has a bunch of benefits. It can give you more lucrative career opportunities, not even within the realm of coding and programming related jobs. If we're just looking at like regular everyday, you work in an office building, you can save your office building money by knowing how to code and knowing how to code websites and advertisements. If we're looking at coding related jobs, there's going to be a larger job pool for people who know how to program and code. And we're looking at higher median incomes than average. We are looking at increased job opportunities. We're also just looking at increased brain function. If we are using our problem solving skills every day, I mean, of course, we're going to get better at problem solving in real life, but it's just, and it's fun. Like, who doesn't love to learn to do things like this? Like I said, it's like a puzzle, but you can't lose things. It's easier. Well, I shouldn't say easier, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just really cool. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm super passionate about coding. I think it's super rad. And if I was more dedicated to it, I would for sure go into like software development. I think developing a video game would be super cool. But yeah, that's, to me, those are some of the biggest benefits of learning how to code, is just look at the numbers, and as we progress further and further into this digital society, I can only see those numbers going up and up and up. And yeah, I really hope that this kind of caught your attention. Even if you're just, like I said, looking to get into it casually, I'm in it casually, I code casually, and just for funsies. And if you're a video game nerd like me, learning how to code to modify your games, that's pretty cool, But yeah, I think that coding is a very important skill to have, and I think it's going to become a very important skill in the future. It's gonna, be a job requirement at some point. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. And the next one, I will be teaching you about HTML coding. So the very basics, what it is, how to use it, that kind of thing. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!